We all remember DARE in grade school. The purpose of the program was to keep kids off drugs. We heard how bad they were, and that one drug in particular was a gateway to all others. That drug was marijuana. What if they were wrong, though? What if marijuana wasn't so much a problem as it was a solution? What if by taking a step back and looking at the long-term effects of legalizing marijuana, we saw a positive outcome? You're probably thinking, yeah, right. By legalizing weed, nothing will be solved. It'll just be a way for people to get high, hippie. Well, tonight I aim to show you what could happen as a result of legalization, and have you consider for a moment that what I'm proposing isn't bad, but could be good for all of us, smokers and non-smokers alike. The legalization of marijuana will reduce unnecessary government spending, reduce the prison population, and generate high-dollar tax revenues, as well as have environmental benefits. The problem is that we as a country are spending and losing large sums of money by keeping marijuana illegal. We're spending large amounts of money on incarcerating people on marijuana-related offenses. We are losing tax revenue that those individuals would generate by having them incarcerated, as well as spending massive amounts of money on direct law enforcement. The first component of the problem is the number of people arrested and incarcerated and the cost of keeping them locked up. According to Rob Campia, one American is arrested every 38 seconds for a marijuana-related offense. Eric Schlosser told PBS that 1 in 6 federal inmates is in prison for marijuana-related offenses. According to PRB.org, there are 1.6 million inmates currently incarcerated, and based on the above ratio, we see that 266,666 of those inmates are in prison for marijuana. According to Deb Curtis, many nonviolent marijuana violators are sentenced to life without parole. She states that the expense of keeping these inmates locked up is $72,000 for each senior inmate and $40,000 per young inmate annually. Caroline Fairchild also says that marijuana incarcerated prisoners are costing the United States $1 billion annually. Next, we'll take a look at the lost tax revenue associated with this due to incarceration for marijuana offenses. Rob Campia again states that we are losing approximately $31.1 billion a year in tax revenue. This is a large amount of money that could be spent elsewhere. For example, he says that in 2007, all of the teachers in the country could have received a 30% 30% pay increase, which would have come at a cost of $15 billion. That still leaves $16 billion that could have been spent elsewhere, perhaps on health care or reducing the national debt. The final piece of the problem puzzle is the money spent directly on law enforcement. Rob Campia stated that in 2007, the U.S. was averaging $10.7 billion a year on law enforcement. Caroline Fairchild stated that in 2003, the cost of enforcing marijuana-related laws had skyrocketed to $13.7. Again, a large amount of money spent on enforcement of laws aimed at a single plant. We've seen an example of some of the costs associated with keeping marijuana illegal. Let's take a look at what can be done to turn this around. We can work to correct these problems by legalizing marijuana. For starters, we could work on reducing the prison population. Overcrowding is an issue in this country right now, and any reduction will have serious effects on solving that issue. We would also be able to focus law enforcement resources on more pressing issues. Also, passing the law may not be as difficult as one would think. Maya Solovitz stated that in a recent poll of 1,501 people, 52% of those people polled favored legalization of marijuana, and 72% felt that law enforcement effort costs were higher than their benefit. While these seem like giant hurdles, they can easily be cleared. let's take a look at the economic and even environmental impacts of legalizing marijuana. Legalizing marijuana has the potential to generate billions for the economy as well as environmental benefits. Marijuana is a huge cash crop in the United States. Eric Bailey put a value on it in 2006 of $35 billion. That crop, as he states, is worth more than corn, soybeans, and hay. He also noted that California alone has a crop valued at $13.8 billion. Legalization also has the potential to generate billions in new tax revenue. Caroline Fairchild said that according to a study performed by Cato, legalizing marijuana would generate $8.7 billion in new tax revenue annually. Washington State, which just passed their first legal marijuana laws, is estimated to generate $1.9 billion in tax revenue in the first 5 years. And even on a smaller scale, Ms. Fairchild mentions that the city of Oakland in 2011 generated $1.3 million in tax revenue for itself. Besides an economic impact, legalization could also benefit the environment as well. According to Nematon.com, hemp produces more paper per acre than any other plant. The website also states that trees can take 20 to 50 years to reach production age, whereas hemp requires only 4 months and can be planted on most United States farmland. Nematon.com also states that because hemp can grow anywhere and doesn't require large tracts of land such for trees, there would be less topsoil erosion. Fewer chemicals are also needed to turn hemp into paper. They also require no herbicides and little to no pesticides. Finally, 30,000 products can be made of hemp, many of which are non-toxic, biodegradable, and renewable. There you have it. Serious benefits, both economically and environmentally, that can be had by legalizing one plant. I understand that what I'm proposing might sound a little strange. For so long we've been told that marijuana and the people that use it are bad. That simply isn't the case. The United States is spending billions to fight a war that it's losing against marijuana when it could be making billions. Cigarettes and alcohol account for untold numbers of deaths each year, and yet are still legal. Isn't it time that we give this plant a chance and put it to work for us? I think it is, and I believe if you consider the info that I've presented this evening, that you'll feel the same way as well. Thank you.